Hi guys, good afternoon. This is Steve Witkoff. So this is the businessman lawyer for Taco. So we wanted to analyze him because he's everywhere and he hasn't had any success. So let's go through it. Okay, so this is him. We've seen him. He was also yesterday in Alaska in regards to Putin and Russia and Israel and Gaza and Iran. Okay, so he's involved in all these things, and we want to do an analysis on what is he doing, who is he, what is he doing, and what did this mean for us.
Who he is. Real estate lawyer turned developer. Bronx born, trained as a lawyer, founded the Witkoff Group in 1997, longtime New York developer and Trump acquaintance. Sky News Influence Watch AP News. Personal tie to Trump. Their relationship dates back to the 1980s. He even recounted the deli sandwich story while testifying in Trump's 2023 civil case. AP News. What role he holds now. U.S. Special Envoy, Middle East, under Trump's second term. He quickly inserted himself into Gaza ceasefire/hostage talks in Doha, and the White House has since used him on the Russia, Ukraine, and Iran files as well. Axios, Reuters, The Washington Post. ABC News. What he's done by file. Israel, Gaza. Join the Qatari/Egyptian mediated negotiations. A multi-phase ceasefire/hostage exchange framework emerged in mid-January 2025 and partially took effect, though later phases stalled. He also floated a 60-day framework paper later in May. Reuters plus two The Washington Post, The Times of Israel plus one. Through July, he publicly said Hamas positions were blocking progress and pulled the U.S. team back to consult. AP News. Ukraine, Russia. Became part of Trump's small circle on the war, met Putin ahead of Trump's Alaska summit, and sat in the room for the leaders' meeting. The summit ended without a concrete deal. PBS ABC News plus one AP News. Iran. Led exploratory U.S. Iran contacts Muscat/Oman, later Europe, about a nuclear deal and de-escalation. Messaging and timelines have been inconsistent, with reports of both promising signs and hardline reversals. Reuters plus one, Axios plus one, The Times of Israel, The Guardian. Arms Control Association. Why critics say he lacks the skills/credentials. No traditional diplomatic or regional experience. Coverage across mainstream outlets has highlighted he's a real estate dealmaker thrust into the most complex conflicts on Earth. Foreign policy, The Guardian, Sky News. Process concerns. Reports describe unorthodox habits, e.g., meetings without full interagency support or seasoned translators, and occasional echoing of Kremlin narratives, drawing pushback from career diplomats and allies. New York Post. Mixed messaging. On Iran, he has alternated between allowing limited enrichment and demanding total dismantlement, which undermines negotiating leverage. The Guardian. Results so far. Gaza, only partial, temporary pauses and stalled follow-ons. Ukraine, no ceasefire yet. Iran, talks on and off, no deal. That track record fuels the not qualified argument. The Times of Israel AP News plus one Reuters. What supporters argue. Access and hustle. He's been physically present with top principals, Netanyahu, Putin, Qatari mediators, and helped push the January pause/hostage exchanges over the line alongside Qatar, Egypt/U.S. teams. Reuters plus one. Trump's trust. As a close confidant, he can move quickly and keep the president's attention focused, something bureaucratic processes often struggle to do. ABC News. Bottom line. Factually, Witkoff is a businessman lawyer with no conventional diplomatic resume who was handed immense portfolios, Gaza, Ukraine, Iran. He's had visibility and some incremental movement, notably around the January Gaza pause, but no durable agreements yet, and his process and messaging have drawn sustained criticism from diplomats and allies. Whether that means he has no skills is subjective, but the record to date supports the claim that he lacks the standard experience and hasn't delivered a lasting breakthrough on any of the three fronts so far. Foreign policy, The Guardian, The Times of Israel, AP News. Here's a clear side-by-side scorecard on Steve Witkoff's role in the three big portfolios: Gaza, Ukraine, and Iran. Conflict. Objectives stated/implied. Moves taken. Missteps/criticism. Current status, August 2025. Israel, Gaza. Broker a ceasefire and hostage release deal. Reestablish U.S. leverage in Middle East mediation. Showcase Trump's ability to deliver peace. Participated in Doha talks with Qatar/Egypt mediators. Push to January 2025, phased framework, partial ceasefire plus hostage exchange. Floated 60-day truce paper in May 2025. Publicly pressured Hamas for concessions. No prior diplomatic experience, seen as ill-equipped for Hamas/Israel dynamics. Negotiations stalled after Phase 1. Repeated pullbacks undermined credibility. Allies, Qatar, Egypt, complained of mixed U.S. signals. Only partial, temporary pauses achieved. No durable ceasefire or Gaza reconstruction plan. U.S. influence weaker than Qatar/Egypt. Ukraine, Russia. Negotiate ceasefire framework to end the war. Improve Trump, Putin rapport to drive settlement. Reduce U.S. military burden. Attended pre-summit and summit meetings with Putin in Alaska. Sat in the room with Trump/Putin. Promoted real estate deal style bargaining language. No concrete outcomes. Analysts noted he echoed Kremlin talking points in some briefings. Lacked credibility with Kyiv, EU, NATO partners. Raised fears U.S. might undercut allies. No ceasefire. War continues. Kyiv skeptical of U.S. role. Witkoff seen as symbolic envoy, not decisive broker. Iran. Nuclear/regional. Reopen back-channel diplomacy. Test possibility of new nuclear/de-escalation framework. Reduce regional flashpoints, e.g., Persian Gulf. Initiated exploratory talks in Muscat, Oman, later in Europe. Floated ideas on enrichment, caps, and phased sanctions relief. Claimed progress in informal exchanges. Mixed, shifting demands, sometimes suggested limited enrichment, other times total dismantlement. Undermined trust with Tehran and European intermediaries. No consistent policy line from White House. Talks on and off, no formal deal. Iran accelerated enrichment in parallel. U.S. position muddled, credibility strained. Takeaway. Witkoff's track record so far reflects incremental involvement, but no durable success. His businessman/dealmaker persona gets him into rooms, but his lack of diplomatic expertise, inconsistent messaging, and the absence of sustainable results reinforce the critique that he lacks the skills and background to manage conflicts of this scale.
Okay, so let's just, I had this chart produced. Okay, so the blue is objectives. Excuse me. Orange is moves taken. The green is missteps and the current status. So just so you understand, objectives, okay, is he aimed for. These are the blue. So like 3, let's just go through it. Israel, Gaza, okay, it's here, 3. Moves taken in negotiations, it's above that. Okay, missteps and criticism noted, it equals that. And then the current status, higher is more success and lower is stalled or failed. It is 2. So we can see here it's failed. This is a failure. Okay, the same thing here, Ukraine, Russia. Okay, objectives, moves taken, missteps have been even greater. This is by him, by the way. This is Steve Witkoff's scorecard, guys. Okay, this is the guy that's in the room all the time in these 3 important situations with Taco. Okay, so this is the objectives, moves taken, missteps are greater, and then that's the reason why you have the current status where it is, which is below. It's 1, right? 1. That's slow, failure. Okay, so the next one is Iran. Okay, so this is objectives, moves taken, missteps, and then the current status, it's lower. It's low. It's a failure. Okay, so that's it. I hope this helps. This is the reason why I did this is because this guy has been everywhere. We hear news reports that Steve Witkoff is going to be flying here and there. He's going to fly into Israel. He's going to be flying into, negotiations on the Iran situation, on Gaza situation, and so he's always flying and meeting all these people. And I just want to make sure that you understand who he is. He is, as it says, a real estate lawyer turned developer. He is basically Trump's former developer and lawyer. And that's the reason why he goes into these situations thinking that because he's a lawyer, he can handle this job. He can't. He has no experience in any of this. Is as a real estate developer, he has no portfolio and experience with Israel, Gaza, Ukraine, Russia, or Israel, Iran. He has no experience. So the fact that Taco has pointed him there, why do you think that there is failure here, and here? It's because Taco appoints the dumbest people. This guy is dumb. He can't operate these situations, these projects under his portfolio successfully because he has no experience on these three specific matters. Okay, so I just want to make sure you understood that this is, if we see failures as we have been and we continue to see them, it's because of people like Steve Witkoff. And who put Steve Witkoff there? Taco did. So that's really it. So if you put successful people in there, they will lead to success. If you put, inexperienced, dumb people that are real estate developers into these situations, guess what you're going to get? You're going to get failure after failure after failure. Okay, so if this guy had 10 things in his portfolio, all 10 will be failures. This has nothing to do with real estate. Okay.